I was 13 when I first got access to a computer.
My parents bought me a Macintosh in 1984 when I was 8 years old.
I was in 6th grade.
I learned to code in college.
Code.org is now just a few months old, and it's a brand new effort to promote computer science education. It's a subject that's very much a passion of mine and something that a lot of people in Silicon Valley care about. But this is the first time that we've really brought together some of the biggest names and biggest minds in Silicon Valley to kind of join forces behind a simple message that computer science is a integral, very key part of education for children of all ages, but it's also easier than you might realize, more fun than you might realize, and more impactful than you might realize. The computer industry is one of the best things that's ever happened to the US economy, yet we stand to completely lose that advantage if we don't teach our own kids how to become computer programmers. In China, computer programming is required for graduation. Every single student who graduates from high school is required to learn computer programming. In America, however, only 1 out of 10 schools even offers computer science, and only 1 out of 50 students takes it. And that's, that's setting us up for, in a few years, we won't have enough people to fill those jobs. As a country, it would just be an embarrassment if we've created this amazingly fast-growing industry, yet don't have enough people with the skills to actually to employ. That's the reality unless we can change courses. And all it takes to change courses is to start bringing computer science into the schools. We're making great progress. May 14th, the governor of Washington signed a new bill that changed the state graduation requirements to include computer science. And this was a direct result of our lobbying effort. For me, actually, computer programming taught me how to think. For every kid, whether they intend to become an accountant or a doctor or whatever you want to do in life, I think studying computer science early on really helps with your brain development. In particular, I think for girls, it helps you feel empowered and feel confident that you can solve problems, or that if there's something you don't like, you can fix it or change it, or if there's something you wish you had, you can create it. Because it's a very creative field. It's not like I'm doing geometry proofs. I'm making things. That feeling of empowerment, I think, is something that every kid can benefit from. There's a few great platforms out there for learning how to code. One is Codecademy, one is Khan Academy, there's Scratch, there's CodeHS, there's Tinker with a Y, and there's Blockly. Each of them is great and has its own strengths. But with the new ones, as well as Codecademy, what's cool is that you can basically sign up and go through a sort of a step-by-step process of gradually learning more. The specific language you're teaching is less important than which concepts are you teaching. A repeat loop is a concept that every language, every computer programming language has the same concept. They just call it different things, or it's slightly different words or so on. So I think what's important to standardize is which conceptual techniques are different kids learning at different ages. But which platform or language you're using to bring that forward, that could vary. We're aiming for more scalable solutions. The school says, okay, I want to have an after-school club, and I've heard about Scratch, or I've heard about this, but I don't know the basics, like what type of computers should I buy? Do we need a teacher, or can the math teacher just do it? Just helping them go through that with an online step-by-step process of, here's what you need to do, and for 5th graders, here's the curriculum we recommend. For high school, this other curriculum or different platform. As well as we might be creating some curriculum ourselves. So we're basically looking at where is there a great solution, and if so, that's what we'll just recommend that, or can we improve the solution and work with them to do something they weren't already doing. Do I predict that it'll become as ensconced in American education? I hope so, because I think it merits that. Like learning how to read, there was once a time when learning to read was considered to be the elite, provenance of only the sort of mysterious few, either the very wealthy or the religious, elite, basically. And ordinary people were illiterate, and they thought this must be a genius to know. But obviously, you don't have to be a genius to learn how to read. You start simple. You start with the ABCs, and then words, and then sentences, and eventually you can go as far as you want. And same thing is true with computer programming. You can start with the simplest things, and you can decide how far you want to go.